Hello everyone, this is Laura Alexiou, owner here at Steamtown Yoga, where we specialize in hot yoga and the Eastern healing arts. Today I want to speak to you a little bit more about our 5-element theory and introducing the wood element. The wood element is representative also of springtime. When we look at the 5 elements, we want to think of them as different attributes or different phases. It's a cycle. It's a cycle that follows the seasons. It's a cycle that follows our lifetime. It's a cycle that really everything falls into one of these 5 categories. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about the wood element. And I'm standing right here. And I'm standing in front of our great big green wall. And I want to speak to you about the green. Every element, every attribute has a color associated with it. And the wood element is associated with green. It's associated particularly with this spring green color. It's a color of rebirth. It's a color of renewal. It has an energy about it. The springtime energy is a springing up energy. If you just think in the world around you, what starts to happen in springtime? The buds of the trees, they start to bloom just a little bit of springing up. They start off this beautiful spring green color and then they darken as the season goes on. You think of the ground, it starts off, winter around here, very dark, very muddy and frozen, and then the crocuses, the flowers, all the little tulips, they start to just spring up. So there is an upward rising energy that goes with this time. Let's talk a little bit about organs and emotions. Spring is also associated with the liver and with the gallbladder. So sometimes in this time, that can actually also be associated with some headaches. Sometimes people will get like a sinus headache, like a pollen headache. That can often be a result of an upward rising energy through these meridian lines that run through the body. The way energy starts to run through the body and delivers energy throughout the organs, and it gets a little stuck up in the head. So these are just things to be on the lookout. If you think, gosh, every April, every May, the allergies start to come, and the headaches start to come, sinus pressure, it's a cycle. We want to start to look at everything in our lives as more cyclical. If we think back to our lesson on the Tao, living in harmony with the universe, when we can start to see things that happen to us as a cycle, we can start to take things less personally and just see, oh, this is the phase, this is this time of year. We can start to live in harmony with less resistance. Before we close off, there's just one more thing I want to bring up, and that's the emotions of the season. When they're out of balance, some of the emotions of this season of springtime can be jealousy. Have you ever been green with envy? Well, that's even worked its way into our vernacular. The spring green, the envy. We say, oh, green with envy. Have you ever been new at something? Oh, he's so green. When you're new at an activity. We get that a lot in the yoga room. When you come in, you're new, you're a little bit green. You don't really know what's going on. It can be a little bit uncomfortable when you're in the wood phase, the spring season of something, the new season of something. It's a little bit uncomfortable as you get used to it. We also want to talk a little bit about boundaries, that the springtime, the wood element, the liver is also associated with boundaries. And sometimes there's a little bit of a pressing of boundaries. You might find your temper is flaring up. Think again, the upward rising energy, your temper's flaring up. When out of balance, the wood element within a person can also result in a little bit of aggression, a little bit of anger. So let's step back and look at what is the flip side of that. If I'm not angry and I'm all in balance, then what am I? What are some other attributes from the wood element and springtime element that I can bring in? Well, then we want to look at courage and heroic right action. If you think of the superhero, that they always have like their fatal flaw. We think of the Incredible Hulk, the big green guy. That's always what I teach my teacher trainees to help them remember this. There's the big green Incredible Hulk. He's very, very angry. But when he's not angry, he's very helpful. And there's courage that will swoop in to save the girl. There's that courage, that springing into action that can be very courageous and very helpful. So there's always something that might be a little negative, a little positive, depending on how we look at it. But most of all, I want you to start to see the cycle of things, and that certain things happen in our bodies in a singular way. Certain things happen in our emotions. And we just want to see what is the cycle. And through noticing the cycle, how can we live in harmony with that cycle? Namaste.